so I'm going to start looking at her legs. Now, Lagotto hate their legs being done, particularly their front legs. But it's very important to do them, and it's very important particularly to do their feet. So what I'm going to do is basically run down the leg. I'm going to take those scissors out of the way because let's keep those out of the way just in case she fidgets. Obviously, safety is always something you need to be aware of. Keep anything sharp out of the way, and just be always conscious of what, what's around really and what's happening. So I'm just going to do that armpit, the bits that I missed. Run down the inside of this leg. So even my Lagotto are fidgety with their legs, even though they've been done, I've groomed them all their lives, they're still fidgety about their legs. Now this is another way to get to the leg, if it's easier. Lift the opposite one so that she can't fidget on that leg, the leg that you're clipping. So I'm gently running down the leg, and I'm going to just run the back here. I've got the carpet pad here with a stopper. Just going to be careful just to kind of clip around that. Some Lagotto wouldn't tolerate this. If you have a Lagotto that hates having its feet being done or its legs being done, it's a matter of patience. If they learn that by throwing themselves about and resisting, you let go and back off, they will always do it. So my recommendation is that you hold the leg. So if she was even throwing herself about, I would keep hold of the leg gently but firmly, and just wait. Just be really patient, relax, breathe, sing a song, whatever. Ignore what the dog's doing, and the moment the dog stops, pauses, then you can release the leg. The dog needs to learn that whilst it is throwing itself about and having a paddy, it can't have the leg back. But as soon as it relaxes, you release the leg. And eventually they get to the point where you can do that, and then they'll let you just run down and then release, if they're being good, if they're being cooperative. So I've run over the edge, over the foot, taking what I can, and then I'm going to get my scissors, and we need to do between the pads, because they get a build-up of hair between their toes, and you get grass seeds and grit and sand between the toes, and that can cause problems. It can get very uncomfortable. The dog licks a lot between their toes. If you have a white dog, you can very often, it's dark red between their toes. It's because they've been licking and there's something that's irritating them. So I like to take as much hair as possible from between the toes. Now what you do have to be cautious of is that the dog normally likes to get involved when you do that. They like to either stick their tongue in, just want to see what you're doing or whatever. So you've got to try and make sure the dog keeps the head right out of the way. And what I've done is I've got my finger between those two pads, and I'm separating those toes. Can you see that? I've separated those toes. And then with my long scissors, so that I've got the point well out of the way, I trim the sides of the toe like that. I know. So again, separate those toes, go in, trim the sides of the toes. Now, you all know, I'm sure, that the Lagotto have webbing on between their toes. So you have to be very careful of that, but you're in no danger of cutting it, provided you keep the point of your scissor well out of the way. Okay? As I say, they don't like this. You can see that Hebe's protesting a bit. She knows there's no point in protesting too much because I just carry on regardless. I know, Hebe, I know. So that's it, and get that little bit there. and then you should end up with a nice neat foot that's clear of hair between the toes. Now, some people, some groomers, remove the hair between the pads at the back. I mean, if there's a real build-up, and sometimes you can feel a real solid lump of grit and, just a hard lump, which must feel so uncomfortable when they're walking. Must be like us walking along with a rock in our boot. So if that's the case, then yes, remove it. And you can do that with these clippers. You can gently get underneath it. Just come around here, see if I can do it. And you just, it's a gentle scooping action, like that. But I don't tend to remove the hair from beneath the feet, because in the winter I feel it's nice for them to have some sort of protection. If it's frosty and cold, then it's protection against the cold ground. And in the summer, when you've got hot tarmac, when it's really hot, can burn their feet, they've got some protection from the hair under their feet. That's a personal thing. Some groomers would probably be horrified by hearing me say that, but that's my feeling. So I'm going to do her back leg. I'm going to lift it up and rest the lower leg on my arm like that, and I'm going to run the clipper down the back like that. Careful with the area here, as I say, as I mentioned earlier. When you've got some wrinkles of skin, it can be caught, so try and stretch it. On the clipper off the end of the foot, like that. You can lift the leg if you've got a nice agile young dog. You lift the leg and you go underneath. Obviously with an older dog this wouldn't be quite so comfortable, but just taking that off from the inside. So that leg's starting to look much neater now. I just missed a bit there. Again, stretching around those joints. Keep looking for areas that you've already covered to see if you've missed anything. When you look at it from a different angle, you might spot something you've missed, and that's fine. You may see something another day and think, oh, I missed that bit, and then you can just snip it off. That's that. The back foot, same as the front really. Separate those toes by sticking your finger up in between them from below, and you can use a comb to sort of flick out the coat like that, and then again your point well out of the way, just take what's between those toes. You can pull that out and just, okay. I mean, she hasn't got a huge amount of coat on her feet because I clipped her about a month or 5 weeks ago, but at least you can see what I'm doing and how. I know, Eves. Yes, I know. All this is protesting, but I'm afraid I just carry on and acknowledge it, but just I'm not going to let it stop me. So there we go. So now with your comb, go back over areas. I can see that I've missed bits here. You can either do it with your scissors or go back over with the clippers. But we're starting to see a nice, neat leg and foot. Okay? Just going to take those areas there. The end of her tail needs doing. Miss that bit. I mean, you're bound to miss bits, and that's absolutely fine. Good. So that's one side done. Good. So I'm just going to do this front leg and the scissors, comb, scissors and clippers. That's it. Just run it down the leg. Hold the leg gently but firmly. That's it. Down the inside. Good girl. Right. Come on. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. That's it. Good. There we go. Although she's resisting, I'm just holding it gently. And that's it. Run it over the foot. This area here is a bit fiddly. Below that stopper. Hey, sweetheart. Don't know what that was, but she's fine. Again, Lagotto do like to squeak and make drama out of things. That's a good girl. Alright. Good. There we go. Good girl. I'm going to stretch this elbow here. She's shaking because she's cold. That's it. Good girl. Right.